Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 3v3 ladder matcher on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, and shout out to everybody saying hi in the chat. Starting off with Team 1 in the Northwest, and ending with Team 2 in the Southeast. Starting off with Team 1's, it's not really frontline player. They're really packed together, so technically anybody could be frontline or backline or whatever they want to be. We have in Amethyst Purple, Team 1 Seal Force. He is a Seraphim, and he is a 1544 rated. To his south, we have in Stitch Blue RNA as a Seraphim as well. He is a 1674 rated. And last but not least for Team 1, it is Mimics. He is an Aeon in Royal Blue as a 2148 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 Seraphim and 1 Aeon, no UEF and no Cybern's for Team 1. Starting off with Team 2's Northern player, and then clockwise, again, not really one dedicated front line just because they're super packed together. We have in Amethyst, not Amethyst Purple, in Orange, the color Orange, that's Team 1. It is System Failure. He is a UEF. He is a 1612 rated. And in Ruby Red to his south, it is Saints Row as a Cybern. He is a 1624 rated. And last one, these say for Team 2 in Chevy Crimson, making his way to the west, it is Storm Lantern. He is a 2099 rated player, 1 point off of 2100. And he is the highest rated player on Team 2. So for Team 2 side of the map, there are 2 Cybern and 1 UEF. So Team 2 is lacking what Team 1 has, and Team 1 is lacking what Team 2 has. So again, 2 Seraphim, 1 Aeon for Team 1, and 2 Cybern, 1 UEF for Team 2. So all the factions in this game are present. They're just kind of split down the middle between Team 1 and Team 2. And taking a look at the reclaim here for these 6 players, currently sitting at a little bit over 6,000 mass, which makes it about 1,000 mass per player. Definitely worth going after at least a little bit. But there's really not that many mexes on this map. As you can see in the main bases, specifically talking about Team 2, there is a 5-star mex here and a 5-star mex here, and that's just in Team 2's lawn. It's just right there. No real hassle going for that. And there's a couple of mexes to grab on the eastern and western sides, which Team 1's RNA has already dropped forces over there to try to claim. But there's really nothing really going on in the middle of the map. I mean, look at this huge cut down the middle of just no man's land. So it's going to be maybe more worth it to wait till you have a huge group of forces and try to take one side of the map rather than having just an all-out brawl over mexes in the middle, because there's no mexes in the middle to have a brawl over anyway. So there's that. Taking a look to the west here, it looks like Team 2 sending 2 comms this way. It is Saints Row and Storm Lantern going after the frontline facility here for RNA. I don't know how long this will last, but hey, it's a nice little distraction at a minimum, and we do see that RNA and Seal Force are headed down on this western side. Team 2's remaining player is System Failure. He's going north on this eastern side, facing off against Mimics. And it does look like this facility has been pretty much dealt with at this point. Nothing too crazy, and maybe we'll even see these forces just vacate the scene at this point. I don't know if it's really worth it to stay here long term, just due to the fact that it's just, I mean, yeah, it's a nice distraction, but maybe it'll be some veterancy for Team 2's Cybern players. So maybe it'd be better just to leave. And one facility does get control K'd, and the other one gets control K'd. So either I just spun that into existence, or he built the facilities to build a couple of units and then going to control K them. But there's... Oh, okay, no, there is an engineer nearby to scoop the mass up. Okay, I was going to say not have an engineer to scoop up the mass. I feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity there. Team 2's Orange player System Failure, pushing northward and almost taking the entire eastern side. There's a couple of nice little T1 tanks inbound. One engineer trying to make it out of harm's way. There is one more mechs. Team 1's player of Mimics is going to send reinforcements to deal with this here shortly. So it's not, again, a huge detriment to him. But again, it's the same situation down here. It's a nice distraction at a minimum, but nothing too crazy. Looks like Saints Row starting upgrades for a T3 air facility. And Team 1 in the northwest, do you have a T3 air facility coming online? No, not as of yet for either of these three players. Wow, everybody on Team 1 went for a T2 air headquarters. Interestingly enough, huh? That's kind of an interesting move that all of them went for that. Usually it's just one, maybe two, but not all three. Maybe full air power for Team 1 is the idea. We'll see, but they're not upgrading to T3 as of yet. Team 2 is. So we'll see if they end up actually doing it or not. We do see the two comms there for Team 2 have now come back a little bit more northward into the center of the map. Again, it is no man's land here, so nothing really valuable that either team is losing or gaining. We do see Seal Force getting a very frontline Team 1 radar system online, upgrading to T2. I don't really know if that's the best place to put that. You could have just put that right back here and it would have been perfectly fine, but I feel like being very easily accessible is not the best idea for your radar systems, so food for thought there. Team 2 getting airlocked slightly here by Team 1 Swift Winds. There are some nice little T2 fighter bombers inbound, though, that try to poke at some of these shields. Unfortunately, the shields are actually online, so the attack has to be diverted. Looks like it went after some mass storage. It doesn't kill off the mechs, but it does do some damage to it at a minimum. Again, there are some nice response units inbound here from the western player of Storm Lantern, trying to just shove these Swift Winds away. And he hasn't done a great job of dealing with them for the most part, and that not the fighter bomber will eventually go down. And it does go down, and it looks like Team 1's aggression has been pretty much curved. Nope, scratch that. There are more not the fighter bombers inbound. Maybe Team 1's idea was to bring in a bunch of fighter bombers in and then just punish Team 2 or just bomb them into extinction, one or the other. But Team 2 is getting a lot of air defenses online and shields, of course, to protect their P-gens. So I feel like the attempt by Team 1 was nice, but it had to have been a concentrated blast, not a dripping in ever so slightly kind of thing. But they will get a mech over here to the west, which will not be completely in vain of any damage to Team 2. But again, it's just one of those scenarios where had maybe they all come in at once, maybe it would have made a difference. But there's still a lot of Notha fighter bombers still flying around here. But there are more and more interceptors being built here by Storm Lantern to allow for the T3 air headquarters to come online, so that can be the main producer of aircraft. T3 land online here for system failure, getting some Cougars to deploy, and that's probably mostly AA that Team 2 needs at this point. Another mech goes down, and there's just tons of interceptors being spammed up all the time here, and a couple of Team 1 AA facilities as well. So it's just the longer this goes on, the worse it is for Team 1's fighter bombers. So I don't think it's really going to pay the dividends that they really wanted. But again, some mexes are offline, so it is something, but is it going to be enough is the question. We don't see any... Oh, no, one player going for an upgrade on board his comm. Looks like that is going to be gun, most likely. We do see in the south is Storm Lantern going for gun. No, but he has taken a hit, though. He's dropped into the yellow, probably due to these nice little fighter bombers. Bomb drops once again, going after that comm. And we'll see that he'll be fine for now. We do see a nice little blitzkrieg going on here from Team 2. Storm Lantern just shoving all of his forces everywhere, giving a ton of breathing room here for him. And it's really going to force Team 1 to pull back at least a little bit. Nobody has died as of yet here for 13 minutes, so we'll see if that stays the course for now. But, hey, no one's died, so that's good. That's good, good, good. T3 air is online for Team 1. Are they going for T3 in other ways? Yes and no. So 2 T3 air facilities, still 1 T2 for Mimics. But again, 1 T3 air facility for Team 2. So it's just one of those more traditional plays rather than just everybody going for air. So there is that. A couple of fighter bombers help thin the herd a little bit. But a couple of units are going to get past the main group and go after some T2 mexes. There are, of course, a couple of Mantis in the group. I don't see anything more than that. And they're going to go after as many T2 mexes as they can. Volthu gunships online, starting to help thin the herd as well. Looks like they're being diverted over here as well. So that's really going to get 1 T2 mex done. That's it. But it has, like I said, created a lot of breathing room. Some mexes are offline, which is, like I said, better than nothing. But in the east, large group of T3 units moving into the north. And when I say large group, I mean a couple of them. It's mainly just the T1 force, it looks like, System failure skipped the T2 phase and went straight to T3, which can be beneficial, and it doesn't look like Team 1's really investing in a lot of land, so that's going to put him at a huge advantage. I mean, we see a T3 land facility here, but nothing else from Team 1. So usually it's everybody's in land, but it looks like there's going to be a different story here for Team 1. Maybe they wanted to crush with air power and then not have to worry about land is maybe their idea, but I don't think it's going to work out that way. We do see a group of units pushing south with a couple of ASF overhead to clear the skies for them. But, you know, a couple of rhinos in the mix helping to keep Team 1 at bay. We do see in the east, Sainsborough going for an upgrade on board his arm. I think it's a gun upgrade, I would surmise. And then Storm Lantern is pushing westward with his stealth and gun as well. Again, those upgrades really nice to hide themselves from Team 1's radar. And if there's Omni on board, that's not going to work. But, you know, it's nice to hide at least a little bit of your signature from your opponents. A couple of Nothas get wiped out by some interceptors, though. That was a bad day to be a Notha fighter bomber. And Team 2's attack shifts westward. We do see that system failure moving into Mimix's position. He does have some gunships nearby, so we'll see if he stays the course. But there are some Titans moving in. He should be fine, but we'll see if he actually ends up but canceling the upgrade. He does finish his gun upgrade, which he'll probably be happy about finishing, but he cancels his shield upgrade, which he started right after that. Couple of Harmagos, though, going after the Titans. And Mimics now in the throngs of this huge little group of orange units. Mimics is dropping hit points very quickly. He does have 1-star veterancy, and there are some more Titans inbound from the south. This might just be a kill here on Team 1's highest rated player. He does get a rank in veterancy. Will he survive? He has some Harbingers trying to thin up those Titan hordes, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Team 1 will lose the first player of the game at 16, almost 17 minutes on the clock. There's now a 3v2 in favor of Team 2. And it looks like Storm Lantern's making a play against Seal Force. Again, Seal Force is going for now another upgrade. He has gun and nano on board, which makes me think he's going for either regen or T2. Those would be one of the only things you would really go for in that point. Calm on calm action has now been traded for the first time, and it is Splash. And that's a dead calm here for Storm Lantern. There he goes, losing hundreds of hit points per shot. And boom, he just got ran over by Seal Force. Oof. That one upgrade, that was a great grab there by Seal Force when going for that splash upgrade. Just doing hundreds of damage per shot. And it is now a tie game once again at 2v2. So both teams have lost their 2,000 rated player. And it'll be up to the remaining to seal the deal for Team 2 or seal the deal for Team 1. Couple of interceptors going to be in air for a second and then immediately go back down. Definitely don't land there. Not the best idea there, my friends. Just because of the calm right there. But there are some ASFs inbound and other interceptors, so yeah. Now, there's also Swift Wind. So you got Team 1, T2, and T3 in that mix. You do see now it's going to be a 1v1 in the west and a 1v0 in the east. Team 1's RNA has actually retreated back to his main base up here to the north, expanding his air grid. We do see it as 2 bases for system failure and 2 bases for RNA, so those are going to be the players to watch out for with the ecos. Zanesrow looks like he might be struggling with his power. Oh, he's starting to get it back. Nope. He's starting to get it back online. Probably just the it's probably just the T3 P-Gen thing. And he is the air player, so Team 1 has more power in air just due to the fact that that player has double base and Team 2 does not. But things can obviously switch around as time goes on. Team 1 Seal Force continuing to just march forward. Nothing nearby. A couple of interceptors, ASFs, and Swift Friends nearby just to be there, but there's really nothing protecting his comm, and I feel like I don't really know why he's doing what he's doing. We do see that Sainsrow's like, nope, I'm just going to stay out of there. Nope, nope. I saw what you did to Storm Lantern, so I'm not going to get anywhere near you. This is what Seal Force can see. And this is what Saints Row can see. He knows where that comm is, and he is staying very far away from him. Seal Force again continuing to charge, and I just don't get why. I mean, it's a lot of territory to cover between the main bases of Team 2 and where the comm currently is. So unless he retreats at some point, I feel like Team 2 is just going to set a trap for him and then just wipe him out in one fell swoop. But maybe he's going to fall back. We'll see. It looks like he's going this way for some T2 mech kills. But I just don't get why he's that far forward without any land coverage. And he is getting some flak, but nothing on land. He is sitting at 4-star veterancy. He has nano, splash, and gun on board. 94 hit points a second regen. So he is doing pretty well. But in the north, Team 2's Titans rampaging around a couple of T2 mech facilities. Again, there are Harbingers nearby. They are the better in terms of unit. You know, better hit points, better shield. They can reclaim. I mean, Harbingers are the better Titans. But, you know, again, 1,000 of anything will kill anything kind of thing. So, again, don't count your units out for nothing. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Don't underestimate your opponent, that kind of thing. That T2 mech's is going to go down. Looks like the Harbingers not being microed super effectively, and that leads to a mech kill for Team 2. And that comm of Seal Force just continuing to charge for some reason. Again, I have no idea why. There are units inbound. Titans, and more Titans. There's a lot of Titans here. No Percys? Why no Oh, okay. No Percys are starting to be stacked up. Okay. I was going to say Seal Force is going to be the main target, of course, because he's the only threat in the area. I think it's going to be a war of attrition / numbers game here for Team 2. Seal Force is dropping hit points very quickly. Saints Row's over here. He's taking some hits. Ooh, he's dropping pretty quick, though. He's got to be careful. But I think Seal Force is going to die way before that happens. And there he goes. Couple of Corsair. Are those Corsair? No. Yeah, those are Corsairs helping to kill off the comm of Seal Force. And again, I don't really understand what his plan was, but just full sending it on Team 2's position. But he had to have a plan at some point, so I don't really know. But, you know, it does happen from time to time that maybe you just want to go out in a blaze of glory, and that was a blaze of glory, so that's something, I guess. But that means RNA has control of everything on Team 1's side of the map, so all that 400 mass per second. Team 2 is winning the mass game at 480, so Team 1 is not in full control, but they do have a lot of gunships for now. A couple of ASFs here from Team 2. Saints Row starting to thin that herd. But it does look like the ASFs for Team 1 are going to win the fight. Again, lots of units distracting the targets here from those ASFs. And they're going to retreat back to friendlier territory. Eastern side, more Titans, more Titans, more Titans, more Titans, and more Titans here for Team 2's system failure. Again, and those units are rapid response units. They move pretty quickly, so that's why he's probably using them a little bit more than Percy's, because they can get to the other side of the map quicker than Percy's can, so less time for Team 1 to try to adapt to the incoming amount of units. And again, there is that stack of Harbingers up there, but they aren't going to intercept those Titans in time to really do massive damage. Unfortunately, there is a group of gunships nearby, and there's no AA nearby, so yeah, not a great plan. Nope, not a great plan. You need to have some AA coverage for sure, especially flak when you're dealing with gunships. Granted, at the T3 gunship variety, you definitely want some T3, T2 flak just to kind of mix it up a little bit, because it's nice to have single fire damage as well as having kind of a nice little AoE. So it's just kind of a mixed bag sort of thing. Team 1 is now actually leading the charge in mass income, but I feel like Saints Row... No, that's his actual income. Okay. Maybe not. For some reason, I thought he power stalled again, but that is not the case. Clicking on the wrong button again, of course, because I usually do that. We do see, again, system failure is kind of out in the open, near nothing, but he is going to build a shield. At least I think that's him. Maybe his teammate's going to come build a shield for him. Oh, please tell me his teammate's coming to... No, okay, I don't think that's his teammate. I think that's one of his own engineers. No, no, no. That is his own teammate coming in to bring a shield for Saints Row. Oh, that's so nice. That is so nice coming in to build a shield for your teammate. Don't really see that every day, so that's kind of nice to see a little bit of camaraderie there. Fat Boy has been started by system failure, but I don't see any other experimentals here for Team 2. Team 1, are you building anything? Well, RNA, I should say. 2 Seraphim, 1 Aeon. He's got to be building either a chicken or a Colossus somewhere. Granted, Team 1 hasn't really been focusing on land as much as, like I said before, expecting. But maybe no land are going for air experimentals. That means donuts or those nasty little Awasa bombers. But the Titans are pushing in. And they came all the way from the east. And at the same time, there's another attack coming in from the eastern side of the map. Look at this. So, let me move this. Oh, no, it's locked in position. There we go. Move that over there. Move this over here. There we go. So, gunships over here to the west, going after this group of units. And in the east, that group of units stacking up, going to go after the Harbingers here shortly. So this attack will peter out quite quickly, but the defenses for the western side have been thinned out quite a bit. ASFs have a nice little tussle over here. Looks like they were mainly going after the... I don't know what they were really going after, but they're all dead now from Team 2, so maybe a mixed bag, of course, in that regard. But the Titans, I don't know if they're fleeing. I don't know if they're regrouping. I don't know what's going on, but Team 1 is pushing them back regardless. Currently sitting on the map in terms of reclaim is 46,000 mass. That's, again, a huge chunk. A lot of it does reside on that western side due to the attack just earlier. So Team 1's going to have a nice little feeding frenzy going on down there. We see that the Titans have now shifted, and it looks like the gunships might... Nope, gunships haven't been given a call as of yet. Looks like the Titans are going to go for this group of T3 mexes and the Omni probably at a minimum. And those Harbingers will, again, do very well at dealing with all of these units here from Team 2. But the problem I'm having here is there's a lot of units that will make it to Team 1's territory, and there's really nothing else to defend. There are a couple of Othams being spammed up over here, and some more gunships inbound, from the south. And those Titans are just going to start steamrolling. T3 Pigeons are probably going to be a bigger target right now. Of course, the Omni would be a nice thing to see Team 2 take out, but it does look like that force of conglomerated units will be enough. The AA from nearby will thin out those nice little bolters very quickly. There are a couple of restorers in there as well. Again, air-to-ground weapons definitely leave much to be desired, but they are very tanky. As you can see, restorers taking multiple barrages from those Cougars. But it's just not really good for Team 2's land. Team 1 is able to build up stuff very, very quickly. So they do have T3 land, but again, they're not really focusing on land. We do see, again, Harbingers and Othams. Oh, there is a chicken. Okay, it was just hiding from me. Okay, so Team 1 did produce an experimental. It's a chicken. I must have just missed it. Or he just spammed it up that quickly, one or the other. I feel like it was the definitely I missed it thing, because that's usually what happens. In the base here for Team 2, that Fat Boy is almost done. Just needs a couple more 100 hit points, finish the paint job, add some primer to it, and call it a day. There it is. Team 2 has their first experimental online. It is going to be a chicken versus a Fat Boy, and granted, in that regard, the chicken's going to lose every time. We do see that main force here for system failure is retreating back to way friendlier territory. Looks like they're going to this T3 land facility right here. It is a Cybran one that far forward. Granted, he does have a UEF one in his base, so he's like, well, might as well just have a Cybran one up front and call it a day. Getting a lot of bouncers online. I would love to see some bricks out of this facility as well, just to get some more frontline units. We are seeing nothing really being developed in the east. There are lots of Team 1 engineer spam here for an RNA for reclaim, but no real efforts to try to hold. Team 2 might just win this game with land. Maybe. It's just one of those things. It's kind of hard to tell at this point, because Team 1 could really dig in and get the game going with some artillery, nukes, game enders, that sort of thing, which would force Team 2's hand. However, if they don't have adequate defenses, it might just be all for naught. And again, maybe if they see, the problem is that, like I said, it's a lot easier to just defend, build defenses, and call it a day. Problem is it gives a lot of the map to Team 2. I mean, look at this. There's both corners owned by Team 2, and they have all of their mexes, plus a decent chunk of Team 1 side of the map mexes. So the incomes are going to sway here very shortly. Even though Team 1's sitting at 820, 830, Team 2, of course, upgrading mexes all the time. So that number is going to flip very quickly. So it's just something to be aware of, that more map control means more mexes generally. More mexes generally means more mass, and more mass means more stuff. And more stuff means it's higher chance of winning, but not necessarily a 100% guarantee. Nothing is 100% guarantee in this game. I did see talk of satellites possibly. Yep, Team 2's UEF player system failure going for satellites. Well, that phase of the game has now begun. It is the T3, T4 game ender stage, with, of course, more chickens being produced. That's a second chicken here for Team 1. Looks like he's sending it eastward, so maybe he's going to keep them back for defense. No, he's going to send this one out with his T3 units that he built a while ago. A while ago being like 4 minutes. This group of forces here for Team 2 will be wiped out very easily, but again, there's a huge amount of no man's land over here in both sides of the map, so is it really worth it to try to crawl just all the way to the other side of the map and deny some mexes? Or would it be better to just defend? Because all it will take is just a couple of mass dumps, and Team 2 might have it, or Team 1 might have it, so it just depends on how aggressive you want to finish the game off. 31 minutes on the clock here. Team 2 has lost one player, that is Storm Lantern. Team 1 has lost CO Force and Mimics, making this a 2v1 in favor of Team 2. Team 2 sitting at almost 1,000 mass per second. Team 1, 840. So that, again, more map control starting to play a huge role in the mass leader. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. Let's go back here to the north, where that group of units is inbound. This group of forces has now retreated, so again, nothing really too crazy, and that fat boy just poking at a little bit of defenses there. We do see T2. No, that's T3 artillery, excuse me, not T2. Looks can be deceiving, but it does look like the Titans and other forces are retreating, and it might just be a situation where system failure wants to drag the land units out of their main territory. And that's kind of what's happening to the north. With so much land, if they can draw them even to this position, it's going to take a little bit to walk back to base. So it might be enough time for Team 2 to maybe kill off some units, maybe get some engineers in and reclaim them or something. I don't know, but the problem is that again, Team 1 is being attacked on multiple fronts. Granted, Team 2 is also attacking them on multiple fronts. So, does it, like I said, come down to Team 1 just hunkering down in their corner of the map, getting wall sections, getting T2, PD, TMD, shields, that sort of thing, and just building artillery, building game enders, doing something like that? Or is it more worth it to just build a bunch of land units and try to beat Team 2 at their game? So, it just depends what RNA is thinking, and he's very good player, so he knows what he's doing. But yeah, that might be what he's doing. First nuke of the game is going to be loaded here in probably about 34 minutes, or at the 34-minute mark. It is loading pretty quickly, especially being on 0 speed. Team 2, do you have adequate SMD coverage? Yes, there's one right there, and it's about to load. Does Team 2 know about the nuke? Oh, they know about it. Okay, so at least that's good to know. It's one of those things of, was it a coincidence or was it planned? And I feel like that's more of a planned thing. Oh, especially because the satellite was actually just not thrown away, but put to the side for now. That definitely makes a lot more sense that it was deliberate. And it looks like Saints Row is still loading another nuke. Or just helping load another SMD, not nuke. Storm Lantern still helping his team out from beyond the grave. 3 mexes not being capped. Again, that is a decent chunk of mass to lose. That's 9 mass a second per T3 mex that's not capped. So that's an amount of a T2 single ring mechs. So it makes a difference that those things are actually nice and wrapped in with a little bow on it, ready for Christmas to be sending to your coffers. We do see that Nuke is now up on the first one of the game. Thank you, announcer, for saying my name, as I do appreciate you do every game that a Nuke is launched, or every time a Nuke is launched. And the Nuke is inbound, but it's going to get denied if it goes any farther. There goes the SMD. Fires, knocks it out. Team 1 really wanted to beat the SMD there. Unfortunately, it just was not to be. So it does happen from time to time. Or it happens a decent amount, I should say, to be fair. But it does look like RNA is thinking of other endeavors than just long-range nukes. He's thinking of long-range artillery, which the artillery should be enough to get to the other side of the map. He's not going to be able to hit the corner stuff, but he's going to hit everything else, which Team 2 isn't expanded in that section of the map anyways. Nothing too worrisome there. And again, I keep clicking that button and not clicking the observer button for some reason. Large groups of T3 units stacking up for system failure on the eastern and western side. We see one of them, of course, assisting the Fat Boy over here. Fat Boy doesn't... Oh, okay. Well, he's getting shields back. I was going to say he doesn't have shields now, so that's something that would be an easy strike here for Team 1, but the shield comes back online, so that's good. For Team 2, at least. Team 1, that's not good. So if it's good for Team 2, it's probably not good for Team 1. If it's good for Team 1, it's probably not good for Team 2. Probably being it isn't, so yeah. We do see those satellites have continued to progress. And again, this will be a nice little PSA for everybody, even if you knew it or not. Adjacency doesn't exist with satellites. It just doesn't work. So just a little PSA. Don't put big, giant, volatile, explosive structures next to some vital structures like those. Just shields and maybe some, PD or something in case of a telemaser comm or something, but just shields. Just shields for those things. Don't need much of anything else. In the west, that attack is again emerging once again. Fat Boy continue to just pressure the non-existent PD that's over here. Might as well target what's over here. There's not that much sitting over here for Team 1, so those couple of Uthashalas will be wiped out very easily, and then the forces will have free reigns. But our Sub Bomber inbound. Ooh, that's not going to be good here for Team 2. And that's a central bombing right there. It's taking a lot of damage. Not only that, but a nice little volley of fighter bomber Nathas inbound. Takes out the Fat Boy. Cuts all of the aggression out of Team 2's land attack. Oof. Nice little 1-2 punch there here from Team 1. We do see in the east the attack starts once again, but looks like it also just says, nah, we're going to wait a little longer. We're going to wait. We're going to invest in our forces a little bit more, and then we'll attack again. It is hard to get a big thing going because the land is super chopped up with all these single mountains and whatnot, so it makes formations very difficult to actually maintain. So not helpful for the attacking player. Helpful for the defending player, but not helpful for the attacking player. Our Sub Bomber is going to make another... No, it's going to go back to where... No. It's thinking about it. Oh, it's thinking about it. It has taken a huge chunk of hit point loss, so if it goes for another bombing run, it probably should kill everything else here. Ooh. It's going to make it back to base, take out another chunk of that army. Nice little middle grouping there, but it's going to essentially be locked in base for a while because its hit points are definitely more or less than he would adequately want them to be. Saddled over the top here for Team 2, lasering all of the stuff. T3 air facility has been targeted for RNA. It is the Aeon one. He still has the Seraphim one over here, and that's his main facility. Of course, the T3 artillery is almost done for RNA. It is the Emissary. It is my favorite, and the only reason it is my favorite is because that it has that secondary pulse that it does that I've just seen do massive amounts of damage to especially air grids. It's just
devastating. You land, it hits the target, and you go, "Oh, okay, it's fine. No, nothing too." And then it sends the pulse out, and then it just wipes out, 4 or 6 T3 pigeons, and you go, "Oh, okay, never mind. I'm just gonna say that it's a good artillery shot. Never mind." Anyway, so it is one of my favorites to watch. I don't know what it is, but just it is my favorite. At least the T3. T4, it's always going to be the Maver. You will not be able to change my mind on that front. The attack going even further to the edge of the map here, and Team 1 is responding to it, sending the chicken and all supporting forces to that location. And again, it's way better for the attacker. It's just, will not always be, but it's just not going to be good here for Team 2. They need to counter the artillery sooner rather than later, because the longer it goes on, the worse it gets. RNAs almost saw back up into the yellow. Couple of Notha fighter bombers inbound. They'll do some damage. Bomb is dropped, but the bomber will get shot out of the sky by those Cougars, if not by those ASFs. Then an air fight will occur. The bomb does drop. Ooh, takes out a huge chunk of that land army once again. So 3 bombs dropped, took out a large section of those land armies. Did its job for sure. The mass will be dumped in front of Team 2's land armies, but on Team 1's side of the map. Looks like the air fight has been won by Team 1 most handedly. And there's going to be 100 ASFs more than Team 2, so that is air dominance so far for Team 1. And the attack will just commence anyways, but again, I don't think it was worth, or this is worth it. There's so many forces here for Team 1 that have stacked up over time. Yes, a couple of mexers are down, but not going to do that much damage. And of course, those mexers were actually probably taken out by the satellites more than anything else. It does look like another attack down here. And another attack down here. I mean, to be fair, system failure is putting the pressure on RNA to constantly build land units. But if RNA has some engineers on standby all the time, I mean, his reclaim numbers will skyrocket. He's already at 90,000. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets to like 120, 130 by the end of the next couple of minutes. Looks like that army splits this way, go in to group up with this little group down here. I mean, he's doing a very good job of just trying to do very big hit and run attacks. The only problem is it's not really working on the main base. So, yeah, not great here. But there are some satellites overhead, and they're going after the artillery. The shields are holding for now, but there's only a few of them. Second artillery has been started. Team 2's air grid, how are you doing? You're doing fine. You're using the UEF shields. Love to see that. And it looks like these were all control K'd because nothing else around them is damaged. So a little bit of mass reclaim there for Team 2. 4th satellite is done. And as I love to see it, the shields... Oh, okay, it's not being built. Never mind. This satellite just finished its deployment. There is the SMD. It's at 2 loaded. There's also a secondary SMD over here, and it is loaded. Looks like artillery will be started shortly, but the shields are popping on and off, so it looks like primary focus is going to be on shielding. Love to see that, just to be sure that the stuff that you're actually constructing survives long term. Ooh, the shielding around the western pigeons are starting to go down, but they're not targeting that. Looks like the emissary lost some hit points there. The shielding went down very briefly. There's more shielding coming online all the time. Oh, it's such a missed opportunity. There's some T3 pigeons exposed right there, but they're going to be covered now. And more shields, more shields, more shields, more shields for RNA. Loved it, love it, love it. But what is that doing to his power grid? Ooh, not great. That's not great. Essentially, any major loss in pigeons means... oh, no, he's back up to 20,000. Okay, so he's balancing it more. But it just means any significant loss is not going to be good. Again, any significant loss for any player is not going to be good. But still, those shields go down. That's a dead set of artillery pieces here for Team 1. And it looks like this land army here is kind of struggling to do anything. It's kind of like, you can't shoot. There's a big giant thing in the way, so maybe you should move. That would probably be a good idea. Percy's in the mix. Bricks. Titans. I don't see Loyalists on first glance. Granted, there's not a lot of missile throwing going on from Team 1, so Nothing too damaging, but oh, that's a group of units there. Both Bricks and Percy's going down. Oof. That is the downside with fighting against the chicken, is that the chicken has good AoEs. It's rapid fire cannon not as much, but the second and tertiary cannons, oof, man, they hurt. And Team 2 will be pushed back on that western side. Satellites, they're really trying to pierce the shielding. Ooh, it's not going well here for Team 1. If they don't get that shield, if they don't keep the shielding online, or build more shielding, or both, it is not a good day. But I do love this, getting PD to defend on land, getting more shielding to defend against the air. And I think those artillery pieces will be fine for now. Looks like this complex has been expanded upon quite nicely with the shield variety. I don't like how there's not that many shields. I would like to see that one actually get finished and put another one there and another one there and another one there and another one. Now they're everywhere. And then the air grid still fine for now. What about that artillery from Team 1 is still targeting? And they're still trying to go after this position, this SMD. Again, there is this SMD, and there's also this one back here. So there's 2 SMDs for Team 2. Once those 2 go down, the nukes can come in. And the shields are being assisted by a couple of engineers. Actually, a couple of shields are being assisted by a group of engineers. So it's not just one shield, but multiple shields being constantly recharged. So I'd love to see that spreading out the shield charge, so that way not one shield just gets blitzed down and then you're screwed, because you can't help regen shielding if you lose all the shielding capacity on the shield. Because that would be kind of OP to just have a shield go down, you recharge it immediately and it comes back up. The shields will never get taken out. There's got to be some not necessarily design flaw, but just some counter to that. Starting to fade a little bit, but again, more and more engineers throwing all of their build power onto this shield here. Again, there's still some engineers over here, and maybe we'll see some more engineers be built here by Team 2. We'll just have to watch and see. 5th satellite over the top here for Team 2. Looks like the no, actually they're going after the SACUs, coincidentally enough. I don't know if they're just targeting whatever's down there, but that is what they're targeting. It looks like RNA is actually now the target. Team 2 is like, okay, I'm just fed up with that huge amount of shields, which I love to see. Needs to be a shield right there. The adjacency, you got to help out the shielding. Just right there. Just one right there. Chicken's being built in the northwest corner there. RNA on an upgrade. Definitely would not recommend doing that right now, especially because there's 5 satellites overhead. Will he cancel his upgrade? Looks like he will cancel his upgrade. It was a T3 upgrade. He's losing tons of hit points. Granted, he's at 35,000 hit points. So that's a lot of hit points to lose. And his shields go down. He has some power issues. Oh, that is not good. Ooh, that is not good. But luckily here for him, the satellites are over here, not where his artillery is. Oh, I'm actually going to keep track of the shielding, or keep track of the power, because that is not good. His nuke is about to go down. His nuke is going to fire right before it goes down, just because why not? Might as well have the nuke fire than not fire at all. It was a chance for the satellites to target the emitters, but they did not get a chance to do that. They were targeting other things. The shields are, again, like I said, starting to fade. 21,000 hit points charge on those shields. A lot of damage to mitigate. And Team 2 has an artillery piece half done. Of course, they have 2 Fat Boys up here to the north for protection, as well as additional shield coverage. Scathis has been started by system failure, because why not? Again, I would just love more shielding here. It's just not as much as I would like. Looks like the artillery is going after 2 different targets. And I think if it went after the same target, it would be better. But it looks like the shielding has collapsed once again, or at least the power has. RNA, your power, it's not doing good. And there goes RNA. He control case. He's seeing that the game is pretty much over at that point. Ooh, yeah, look at this. Just carved a huge path through. And his power reserves went down. He lost his shielding, and then that was essentially the game. So Satellites won the day here at 46 minutes and 57 seconds on the clock here. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And MVPs for me. I mean, system failures, constant attacks. and keeping Team 1 in his base, or RNA specifically in his base, it was nice to see. I don't know if it was all necessary. I feel like he could have put a little bit more mass into maybe either more satellites or more shields or both. But he ended up winning the game nonetheless with, his teammate of Saints Row and Storm Lanting helping as well. But I feel like at the end of the day, of course, the satellites won the game. That just straight up, satellites won the game. So it does happen once in a while. So for those of you who enjoy using the satellites, nice little PSA to ape satellites are good. And also PSA, I will state it again, do not put T3 pigeons or any pigeons next to the satellite facilities. It does not give adjacency. It doesn't do anything. So just food for thought, everybody. Food for thought. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one.